Good playgrounds should feel like part of the community with local features, trains, lifesaver huts, tractors and tank stands and sheepdogs running around. Playgrounds aren't just about having some fun. They're also about kids growing up and developing skills.
For us at Playworks, it's about giving the child a life experience.
G'day and welcome to the Free Hit, where we tackle some of the issues in our game, hockey. Tonight I'm joined by Graham and Lauren, and we're going to be talking about the overhead trap. Graham, it wasn't there in the past, the overhead trap.
No, up until a couple of years ago, there was a general rule, which is the ball had to be played below your shoulder, and if it was over your head, you had to let it go. They've introduced it and they've played it at AHL now. This will be the second year, so people are starting to practice the skill and learn it.
So it wasn't there in the past because of what issues?
I think it was there because it was an old rule about safety and playing the ball above your shoulder, but the game's moved to being a more aerial game, and I think there's a lot of marginal decisions that umpires are having to blow.
Lauren, it's not in the game today, but something that you'd like to see in the current competition?
There's a lot of players who are up to that particular skill in terms of executing it, and I think that at the moment the game is limited by not having it, so I'd love to see it. I think that it would help the flow of the game as well.
Is it something that they need to be concerned about?
I think there's many rules in the game at the moment where there's flexibility on what is practical and what is unsafe, and also what is showing skill, and I think this can be another one that can be added to that. So I think that we can use judgment to make sure it's still safe while being able to show that part of the game as well.
So how does something like that get introduced?
I think not at a junior level, probably at a senior level and probably senior turf, as I think the players and the umpires would be more up to the standard of letting it play.
Graham, you talked about RHL. It's a skill that's been introduced to the game for the betterment of it. The future for the overhead trap?
I think it becomes a part of enabling the game to flow. So I think there becomes some different techniques that you use from a defensive and attacking point of view. Attackers, if the ball's going over the top of them, they can change the direction for another player playing it on. Defenders, they don't have to sit on their players. They can actually come forward and still play the ball, or if they've been eliminated, they can still get a play as long as players aren't within the 5 metre radius, and it's dangerous. It's not dangerous.
So Lauren, again, it's another skill that's introduced to make the game better.
Definitely, yeah. I think that we'd probably see more overheads thrown as well if this rule was introduced. I think that sometimes we're limited by the current rule and showing those skills, so I'd love to see it in. I know personally that I can trap all right up there, so yeah, I'd love to see it.
And Graham, the problem we've got now is that we're teaching the kids coming through the system now that they're playing one set of rules at AHL, yet club level and 18 tournaments, it's not there.
Yeah, and I think eventually there'll come some scenarios that in important games in key minutes, a player that's been at an AHL level goes, naturally, I'm going to play this ball that's going past me, and an umpire goes, that's deliberate. You're a 5-minute suspension and away you go, and everybody's all upset about it. So I think there needs to be some consistency and bringing it down and changing it, and plus getting rid of another occasion when the whistle gets blown.
Well, there you go. It's another edition of the Free Hit. I think you've got 3 votes for Let's Bring It In, so let's see what happens in the season next year. I'm Tom Wetton, that's the Free Hit, and we'll catch you soon.